All right. Let's go.
Hi, I'm Mandy McCormick, and I've had the privilege of working with Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood for the past 10 years. But the real bragging rights? I worked with Double L first. That's right. From our label days to our radio days. Trust me, the stories are endless and even electric. She's not only one of the best on the air, she's the best of the best off the air too. And most importantly, she is a friend to us all. So now it's time to turn up the Married to Radio podcast with Double L and Jeremiah.
Yeah. That was so good. Yeah. Thank you, Mandy.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, handsome. Wow, that feels like a really special intro to me.
It was a very special intro. She doesn't even know me.
She never met you?
I don't know.
I don't know that she has either.
Guess we'll have to.
That is the infamous, the legendary Mandy McCormick, who, as she said, has spent much of her career working with Garth Brooks and Trisha Yearwood, but we worked together when I was in records. And very, very cool to have these things overlap. And we're going to take you through some stories that not only we created together, but the only way that I was a part of was because of Mandy. So Mandy, thank you so much for that intro. Today we talk about the GOAT, Garth Brooks. Yes. This morning we wake up and Jeremiah's like, hey, did I ever tell you about this one time? And
crazy.
I'm like, what? So tell me this story.
So it was like a county fair type setup, a Sturgis type setup where it's like that nitty gritty out in the fairgrounds with the stands. There was literally, I was standing in this platform that had been made of wood. It was seriously 2x4s were the railing.
Okay.
And up walks this guy and someone says, hey, Garth. And I look and it's Garth Brooks.
What?
And I start to fangirl. I'm like, hey, Garth. And I can't quite see him. I have to move my head because there's this person standing in front of me with this cone around their head. And so I lean over and I'm like, hey, Garth. And he's like, I'll give you $1 if you make a beer run for me. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'll make a beer run for Garth Brooks. What the heck? Apparently, he was needing to buy all the liquor, so he gave me that $1 to pay me. Didn't need to. I would have done it for free. To pay me, and then gave me a wad of cash to go get various. He's telling me all the types of beer that he wants, and he's responsible for the beer. And I'm thinking, this is crazy. This is the realest, surreal moment I had ever experienced. And then I woke up. That was my dream last night. And I dreamt that because we were getting ready to talk about Garth. My brother, Daniel, was at a county fair concert last night. My sister, Becky, and her husband, Mike, were at Sturgis. So it seemed like full throttle for sure. And then the cone.
The cone
because Gus is wearing a cone due to being neutered.
Our Bernedoodle. But when he tells me this story, I am so engaged. I'm listening and I'm like, how did you have this experience?
And how did I never tell you about it? Because it just happened.
Oh my gosh. And then for you to say beer run, all I can think is BEERUN, Garth and George. That's like such a good song. So that story didn't actually happen in real life, but we do
never met Garth.
Have a lot of stories of Garth Brooks. And unfortunately, and I don't mean to, but I'll probably monopolize a little bit of this episode.
You have way more experience.
It's just because I have had so many incredible opportunities to hang out with the GOAT Garth Brooks. But I did want to start with, what is your favorite Garth Brooks song? There's
so many, and when you said that earlier, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. Friends in Low Places, I mean, everyone sings it. Mm-hmm. Unanswered Prayers.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I remember listening to that, especially after dating my high school boyfriend, who I was sure that I was going to marry, Joel Harris. I'm so happy for you and your wife and your kids.
Me too.
But I was so sure that I was going to be married to Joel Harris, and then that became a song for me because, that wasn't my story. What is it about it for you?
praying all the things like, God, just do this, God, just do that, and realizing, God, your will be done. Not my will be done, but your will be done. A lot better things happen. Doesn't mean you don't go after, and doesn't mean you don't ask, but I'm thankful for those unanswered prayers that led me to you.
Yeah. Very, very cool. I'm so excited about this episode. I'm feeling like a little bit overwhelmed because I have so many things that I want to pack into like now 22 minutes. But I want to start with the very first time that I had the opportunity to meet Garth Brooks. And it was such a rare experience because this is back in 2008. I don't know if you remember, but LA suffered really horrendous wildfires in 2007. And so Garth decided to play a show in 2008 to raise money for these wildfires. And he puts the one show on sale, and of course it sells out right away. By the way, the tickets were $40. $40 tickets. It's at Staples Center in LA. So he adds another show, and then he adds another show, and then he adds another. He ends up being the first artist to ever play 5 shows in 2 days.
Wow.
Which was really cool. And we had the opportunity to go to this show. I was working at Kim FM 99.5 down in Tucson. My parents got to come to the show as well. And this is, I guess Mandy would have been there. I can't even remember Mandy being there at that point. But it was the first time that I met Garth and also the first time that I met his manager, Bob Doyle. But we get to go backstage and meet Garth Brooks. And the first thing that I remember is he had his cowboy hat on. And as my mom and dad and I approach, my mom is in the lead, and he takes his cowboy hat off and he puts it on his heart and he says, "Ma'am, I'm Garth Brooks." And she says, "I'm Elaine." And they just start having their own conversation. And she's talking to him about her favorite song at the moment, which is More Than a Memory. More Than a Memory, co-written by Lee Brice. This song had just debuted. It was the first song ever to debut as #1 with airplay only. So the song comes out, everybody plays it, and it hits #1 on the chart. It's the first time. Before that, the only song ever to have done that, and I think it was higher, it was like maybe 16, 15, was Kenny Chesney's Don't Blink. After that, it's only been done one other time in the top 10, and it was a song that's also very like integral to me. Taylor Swift. I knew it. I knew you.
Yep.
So anyway, my mom's talking to him about More Than a Memory, and he's got his hat on his heart and he is engaged. He is locked eyes with my mom.
Crazy.
And she's telling him that this song, the word that she thinks of is plaintive. Not plaintiff, but plaintive. And I had to look up the definition of plaintive because I wanted to like remember, because he says, "Tell me more about that word. Tell me what that feeling is to you." And plaintive is an adjective that means, an adjective that means sounding sad, mournful, or expressing sorrow. It often describes a crying sound, a voice, or a melody that carries a heavy, pleading sense of grief or loss. So for my mom, the principal, to be able to come up with that word, and Garth asked a little bit more about plaintive. And so he's telling her, and he says, "Did you know I don't read music?"
Wow.
He hears and sees his songs in color. And I actually Googled this today because I wanted to know if this has been documented. It's a something called synesthesia, but Garth has never really talked about this publicly.
Yeah, I
but
don't think I've seen it on anything.
Yeah, he's telling my mom that when he hears songs, he hears them in certain colors, and he tells her, "I will be singing that song later in the set tonight, and look for purples and blues." And sure enough, in the middle of that set, he starts singing More Than a Memory, and all of the lights turn to purple and blue, and we're sitting up there. We're like, "Oh my gosh, we knew this was going to happen. This is amazing. Garth Brooks just told us this backstage." But that was so cool.
Insider info.
Insider info. And that song was just so amazing. And it's true. Plaintive is such a great descriptor of that song because you feel every single thing in that song. And I mean, the music video with the rain and the fire, like it's such an incredible one. And as I'm telling this story right now, I realize I never told you my favorite Garth Brooks song. I just launched right in.
Right into Mom's during that time. So, what's your favorite Garth Brooks song?
It lends well to this because mine is The Red Strokes. I love The Red Strokes. I don't think it was
Nice.
ever a radio hit. You might not even be recognizing it right now. But in that song, he's playing the piano. It's back in the era where he would wear like the half black, half white shirt.
Okay.
And there is paint spilling and it's all colors.
Oh, wow.
And I just love that. So if you've never heard the Red Strokes, please go listen because it's just like such a powerful song. And I just love that one so much. Another one of my favorites, definitely, we just heard it yesterday, randomly, Colin Baton Rouge. And then Ain't Going Down Till the Sun Comes Up. I never quite understand having hosted karaoke as a side job, singing that song. I would try to start the party with Ain't Going Down, and I would always lose my breath. And I'm thinking about Garth Brooks running around on stage like a crazy person and somehow maintaining his breath to do that song.
Yeah. Yeah, his cardio is crazy when he does a show.
Yeah.
He's running everywhere.
Which is something that he's preparing for again. And it was actually my mom's idea for us to focus on Garth Brooks. And that's why I wanted to hit the Plaintive and the More Than a Memory so much. Something that you don't even know at that show. We're at that Fire's benefit show, which, by the way, 100% of the ticket prices were donated to charity. And it was just crazy. It was televised on CBS. He sold over 85,000 tickets in under an hour, which was just, I mean, that is GOAT status.
Yep.
Also at that show, I had been given an opportunity to go work at a rock radio station. And I was deep in the depths of country. I love country. And I didn't have an answer. And my mentor, Gwen Foster, said, why don't you go to the show? And then when you come back, give them an answer. And I'm 3 songs into this Garth Brooks concert in LA. And I am like, never. I can't ever not be in country. And so I actually left right then and called and left a message and said, thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah, Garth Brooks is a good one to keep you country.
Yeah. So that was in 2008. We are in that era. After that, 2009, that is when I shifted to being a record rep. Okay. I had the opportunity to go be a record rep. So this is 2009. They play me the band Perry's If I Die Young. That song makes me think enough to be like, wow, okay, I could stop being on the radio and I could go be a record rep and I could talk to people about this song. As I'm meeting the band Perry for the first time, I see this man and I'm like, I know you. Garth's manager is a man named Bob Doyle. Bob mortgaged his house because Garth kept getting no upon no upon no. And Bob mortgaged his house to be able to launch this artist named Garth Brooks. And sure enough, there's Bob Doyle in the room and he's managing the band Perry. And I'm like, how on earth is this possible?
Crazy.
So that was really, really cool. And Bob Doyle, still to this day, we have a future story coming up with Bob, a couple of those, but that was really cool. Second time I got to really see Garth, 2016, I'm now back in radio.
Okay.
And I'm in Las Vegas, and this is back to Mandy. Mandy is working with Trisha Yearwood. Trisha's doing the cookbooks for like, what was that? Like Sonoma Williams. What's that store? It's like fancy. She was doing these cookbooks and it was really cool because she would have like a summer drink and a fall drink and she would always send us the cookbook. Well, I hosted a signing for her cookbook at T-Mobile Arena. And then that night I got to go backstage to see Trisha and Garth. And as we're backstage and we're just catching up, and anytime you're meeting Garth backstage, he's in like jeans and a hoodie. You know, he's so chill.
Yeah.
And Trisha comes in and she's like, oh, wait, I forgot something. I had something I wanted to bring to you. Sends Mandy out and comes back with a Tupperware, an actual Tupperware of brownies that Trisha had made. Yes. So I get like hand-delivered Trisha Yearwood brownies. And of course, they were the best thing that I ever tasted.
Yeah, best brownies
They
ever.
were almost like, had like a little marshmallow filling on them. Maybe Mandy has that recipe. Mandy, you let us know. So that was really cool. That was in Vegas. And then that was in July. October 2016, Garth had this celebration in Nashville, and it was called the 7 Diamond Celebration. And it's so interesting. Our number is 27, but your number is 77.
Yeah.
Garth's number is 7.
Yeah.
He loves the number 7.
Yeah.
And so this was really, really cool because he had this 7 celebration. And what it was for was, at that time, he earned the 7 Diamond Album certification. So 7 of his albums went platinum. Platinum means 10 million copies sold. And it's like really, really hard to do. He was
Wow.
the first artist to have ever done that, to earn 7 diamond album certifications. Now he has 10. So he's the only artist to have ever done that. In total, if you're adding that up, it's somewhere around 170 million albums that Garth Brooks has sold, which is just wild. So I got to go to this celebration. It was in Nashville. He had a concert at the Ascend Amphitheater, which also was amazing because, again, this is not a large amphitheater. And Reba was there, his fellow Oklahoman. Chris Young sang. Jason Aldean was there. Steve Wariner, who is one of Garth's best friends and instrumentalist.
Talks about him a lot.
Yeah. Trisha Yearwood, of course, was there. And then we got this, if you're watching on YouTube, we got this 7 Diamond Award just for being part of his career, which was so crazy. I was like, no problem, Garth. Let me just play every single one of your songs. But in here, there's a quote, and it says, I have never been able to explain why I am the guy who gets to go on this unbelievable ride. But the only answer I have is this. If God dropped a box out of the sky and the answer was in that box, I would hope when the box was opened, inside would be 2 words, the music. And I just thought that was so cool, and it has his logo and it has his signature, and so that is just something I cherish so much. After he played that show that night, the mayor came out. He got a belt buckle with 7 diamonds. Like, it was just so cool. Afterwards, we went to a chop house, like a steakhouse.
That sounds amazing.
And it was just some of his partners. Bob Doyle was there. Mandy was there. Glenn Noblet, who is one of our really good friends, was there, who brought
Glenn.
that shirt back for us from the Indiana Notre Dame show. And Garth comes, and there's just like apps and whatever. And he comes and does a toast. I think he was drinking I think it might have been an old fashioned. I think it was whiskey on a rock. I don't think it was a beer run.
Wasn't beer. Hadn't got it yet.
No, but it was just such an incredible moment. I have a picture from that night with Garth. I've got pictures from all these other times, and it's just so incredible to me. He'll play for a while and then he'll go away for a while. You know, he retired for a while his girls were going through school and wanted to be in dad mode. And then it's like, you can see he starts getting back into like Garth mode.
Garth mode, yeah, for sure. We kind of missed an opportunity by doing Garth on episode 6. We should have waited. Episode 7. Sorry, Garth. Just had to get to you, man.
It makes me so mad that happens because, dang it, I could have totally honored him with the episode 7. I just remembered that I made a note in here about something. Oh, when we're talking numbers, and we love numbers, as I was looking up some of the stats that I wanted to share today on this episode. When More Than a Memory came out, guess what day it was?
July 7th.
No, what's our day?
August 27th?
August 27th is when More Than a Memory came out.
What?
Which is just so crazy. And I had no idea about that. God, we see you in your blueprint. That is so cool. So lots of different stories, but I want to fast forward now to one day in Glendale when we each had a totally separate experience, but at the same show. So we're going to March 23rd, 2019. Talk to me about your experience.
So that was a gift to me from my girlfriend at the time. I've always loved Garth, and so it was a big, big deal. Maybe even Christmas, one of those Christmas and birthday gifts. We had great seats. We did the beforehand cookout.
Trisha's tailgate.
Yeah, we did Trisha's tailgate. Ate some food, saw Trisha, made eye contact with Trisha. It was awesome. And then just had a great show. Watching Garth and just singing, being a part of this community of 77,000 plus people. Pretty incredible. One of my favorite shows until another show eclipsed that. But, so the memories of that obviously was the music and him singing songs that weren't his. Because he's also had issues with, like, how could I sing someone else's song? But it's part of what he did on that tour. I can't remember the exact song he sang. But
Fishing in the Dark?
Yeah, that's probably...
Yeah, he loves a Fishing in the Dark moment.
Yep. So, great show, great night. State Farm's tough to get out of everybody at once. And so Uber canceled like 2 or 3 different times. So we had to walk to our hotel, which was about 2 miles away. Not terrible by any means, but enough to give blisters to people who haven't broke in their cowboy boots. It wasn't me. My cowboy boots were broke in. I was fine. I had to help carry individuals. So it was quite the journey to get back. But what a night. What a memory.
Did she leave her boots on the whole way, or did she take them off and do barefoot?
Yeah, I took them off.
Socks, at least?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Another question. Were you wearing this cowboy hat at that show? Do you remember?
I think I was. I think I got that cowboy hat for that show.
I don't think I have a Garth Brooks hat, which is so crazy. I was thinking today, do I have one? I believe my parents have a Garth Brooks hat. Something that was really cool, each time we would meet Garth backstage, they would put together, Mandy would put together a goodie bag for us. And like, I got this shirt, I have other shirts, and that was just that special touch. It's a different level when you are meeting Garth Brooks, a Taylor Swift. Those are different levels. Yeah. They definitely don't need to be doing those things, but the fact that they do is just otherworldly. And to have multiple experiences, like, this is not lost on me, and I don't take it for granted.
Because I have not met him.
Maybe if you say it like level. 7 times, it'll just magically happen.
Click my heels and then Garth is here. I'll take the dream. The dream's okay.
There's no place like Garth. There's no place like Garth. We're going to get you there. So my Glendale story is a little bit different, and wildly so. The night before Garth plays the Glendale show, he has rehearsals. Okay, so he flies in and he has rehearsals, and he invites radio to this rehearsal. And I don't know why I am so special and so lucky. And I, again, know that I have this beautiful gift of relationships. Thank you, Glenn and Mandy, for this opportunity. I got to bring my parents yet again. So they met him back in 2008. This is 11 years later, and they get to come to the rehearsal. It's at State Farm Stadium. And Garth is, again, in jeans, in his, like, Timberlands and a hoodie. And he's just running through some of the songs. And he's running through Thunder Rolls. And you're seeing it on the screen with the lightning and everything. And it was just so crazy. There was maybe less than 2 dozen of us at this rehearsal. Yeah. And we're just right there. And he's sitting on the stage. He's making eye contact. Like, he's right there. I actually had to leave this rehearsal early because I double booked myself. Who double books themselves with Garth Brooks?
Seriously?
You know who I had to go? Dylan Carmichael, our boy DC.
I do like Dylan.
I booked him up to play Harold's up in Cave Creek.
Okay,
and it was like after the rodeo. Yeah. And so I had to leave, and Mandy and Glenn were like, don't worry, we've got your parents. It's all good. That's so crazy. I leave in the middle of this rehearsal like, oh my gosh. I go host this Dylan Carmichael show. Spend the night in Cave Creek. My parents are sending me these pictures. They're just standing there talking to Garth, like no big deal. Just so crazy that happened. And then the next day is the show. And Glenn takes us to lunch beforehand. I think we all ate at Thirsty Lion. Is there one up there at Westgate? Yeah, we ate at Thirsty Lion. And then we all go to Trisha's tailgate. And it was a group of us, radio. It was my boss, Buzz, from Kim FM in Tucson. And then I want to say Reed was there, his wife, Candace, who also loves Trisha. It was a bunch of radio people. We also make eye contact with Trisha. And that was just really cool. And then we go into the concert. And then after the concert, like you said, Uber was crazy and we couldn't get out. And I was valeted at that Renaissance that's right there.
Good spot.
And so we go to the bar afterwards. You can't even get into the bar unless you have the hotel key. But Glenn had a room, Mandy had a room. And so they said, like, let's go have a couple drinks. Well, they shut the bar down, which I thought, like, you are missing out on an opportunity to make money after all these Garth Brooks. We're all on a high from this concert, which was amazing. And so we go up to either Glenn or Mandy's room. Mandy's like, I'll go get some Taco Bell. Garth's manager, Bob Doyle, he's an older gentleman. He just does not want to shut the night down. And so he wants some beer. And so we call down and they're like, yeah, the bar's closed. There's really no way to get beer. And Bob's like, what will it take for us to get a 6-pack of like Coors Light, Miller Lite?
It was Miller Lite because you emphasized that.
Yeah, was it? Yep. I could see that being the case.
Yep.
And they're like, there's really no way. Well, anyway, they found a guy who was willing, just like you in your dream, to go do a beer run for Bob Doyle. It was like $70 for a six bottles. Is that, you call it a six-pack?
Six-pack,
bottles?
yeah.
Okay, 6-pack of bottles. And they bring it up to the hotel room. And as we're waiting for this beer, it's me and Glenn and Bob. And Bob is just regaling us with these stories about Garth and how
incredible.
He was just put on this earth he knew that he had this special gift, and he knew he had to just do anything that he could to make sure that the world would experience Garth Brooks. And it was just so crazy. And multiple times throughout, I talked to Glenn today in advance of this podcast, and Glenn and I just kept making eye contact. Like, are we hearing this? Is this really happening? Like, what is happening? And then Mandy came back, and we had some beers, and she brought Taco Bell. And then by that time, the traffic had dissipated, and she walked me down to valet, and then I made my way home.
Nice.
Which was just, I mean, another one of my huge memories. That show, yeah, 77,000. A couple months later, I had the chance to go see that same show. I took my friend who also lives in Colorado. We got to go do the rehearsal again, Trisha's Tailgate, again at Mile High Stadium. And it was a record-breaking day. I know. 84,000 fans were at that show. So just another great experience. I've got some pictures. I have a picture of me wearing this shirt. It's my Garth Brooks Stadium raglan. I collect these baseball tees, these raglans. I have a picture of Trisha and me, Mandy and me, just backstage.
Love it.
Like, so crazy.
Experience.
Very cool. So then years later, we get together.
Yep.
And we're in Nashville for my bachelorette party. Our oldest daughter had never been in Nashville. I was like, I'm not doing Nashville for a bachelorette party. It's like the most tourist thing ever. But then I'm like, actually.
And then you did.
Why not? That'll be fun. So we did, and we got to go to Garth Brooks' Friends in Low Places. It wasn't even officially open yet.
Yeah.
But they were allowing like small crowds.
Yep.
And we got to sit in a booth.
Yeah, it was fun. Good spot.
There's a band. Chicken tendies were amazing. It was like a tower of tendies.
Hit the spot. Tasted really good. And there was a railing right there. So we had the seating and like this little spot to stand and lean and watch. And the band was really good. I don't remember the name of the band, but they were awesome.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And that was December 2023. The bar then opened March 7th. Back to his numbers, just like we like them, of the next year, 2024. Which brings us to Caesars. Garth plus won the residency at Caesars Palace inside the Coliseum. This place might have 7,000 people. I don't know what the capacity is. It's not large.
Not sure.
Our friend Jesse was celebrating his 50th birthday and invited us to Vegas.
It was awesome.
And
great celebration.
Both Garth Brooks and Keith Urban were playing in Vegas that weekend. And so Jesse was like, let's go. We'll stay at the Cosmopolitan. We'll have some fun. And I'm like, I can make this even better. Let's go see some concerts with Jesse and his wife, Lana. And so we reached out to Garth's team, and Bob and another one of Garth's managers, along with Mandy, gifted us a pair of tickets for our wedding, which was coming up the following January. And
what
then
a gift.
We were able to buy the other pair for our friend Jesse and Lana to go to this show. And it was October 2024. We were in row J. J for Jesse, J for Jeremiah. What is that? A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. It was like row 7. We'll just call it row 7 just to stick with it. But they took our phones. So we don't have any digital memories, but I want you to try to relive that night because you were in heaven.
It is my favorite show ever. I was trying to go back in the phone and check any videos. There are none. We have a picture of us afterwards buying this hat, taking a picture with Jesse and Lana. But because we were so close, it felt like you were right there. And that weekend was a heightened weekend. Garth was feeling some kind of way. He had some things going on. And so his energy level and his passion and his emotion was just so leveled up. It's hard to say that Garth can level up, but he was leveled up. And just every song that he sang with the stories in between and how he would describe and interact with the crowd or his band, like I'm getting goosebumps right now thinking about it. It brought back memories of when I heard that song or what happened in my life listening to that song. Yeah, I cried the whole show. And it went so fast, but it was incredible. Right there, intimate. Oh, man. We'll never forget that show.
Every time I looked over at Jeremiah, he had tears in his eyes. Every time I look over at Jesse, who is kind of a more quiet, reserved guy, he's singing every single word.
Yeah.
That's something that's so cool at a Garth Brooks concert. You know every single word to every song. He's got more hits than anyone. He has more sales than anyone. He has more records than anyone. He also has more wins for Entertainer of the Year than anyone. I had to go look it up. 7 CMA awards for Entertainer of the Year, 6 for the Academy of Country Music. He's actually withdrawn himself so that other people could win. Yeah. But maybe he might have to get himself back into it because he's going on tour again. Which is so crazy. We have no plans at this point to go see Garth on tour, but wouldn't that be cool? It's the Blame It All on My Roots Arena Tour. Flat ticket price of $155 per ticket. No pre-sales, no dancing around. I love that premise. He's always done that. He's always had that flat ticket price. And it's the classic production. So he's bringing back the 90s drum pod setup. He's going to have the 360-degree round stage. I mean, it's going to be awesome. I know where you won't want to go. You won't want to go see it where the Chiefs play. He's playing it there. But Indianapolis, he's playing at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. He's playing at Ball Arena in Denver. That would be the goal. That would be a dream. Allstate Arena in Rosemont, Illinois. And then, Washington, D.C. Wouldn't that be so cool? Do you think he'll add more?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always happens that way. It seems like launches a few, they sell out. And so he's about the fans, tries to give us what we want. There will be more. Mark my words.
Garth Brooks, thank you for being all about the music, for your backstage experiences, for directly locking eyes and really listening to the people that you meet. I feel emotional wrapping this up, and I don't even know how to because the amount of experiences that I've had. I forgot I had a stagecoach experience with him. Glenn invited us to go to Stagecoach, and we were in front of the front row. So where the front row is, we were then one step more in front, and it was a crazy windy day, and there he was right in front of us singing. That was crazy too. Just your team represents you in a way that is just unmatched. And thank you for all of the experiences.
Love it. Thanks, Garth.
Thanks, Garth. You're the GOAT.
Let's pray. God, thank you for memories that we can have with people and just share life and share joy. Thank you for the people you put in our life, the experiences that come from the relationships that you ordain and allow us to have. I pray, Lord, that I could be the kind of guy, maybe not bringing in 77,000 people, but the kind of guy that makes someone feel seen. May we do that this week. Can we help others feel seen and appreciated and valued? Can we put a smile on their face? God, that's what we want to do for you. We want to please you and put a smile on your face. Thank you for this week ahead. Guide us and lead us, we pray. In Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
Actual tears.
Garth will do that. Love you.
Love you. Oh, shoot. I forget how I was supposed to end it.
Garth just really took it off. I
love you.